Hey Dad, what are you working on?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out this secret Pappy Van Winkle formula. I'm trying to recreate Pappy Van Winkle.
Oh, okay.
So I guess is what we're going for.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my own. But it's not working out.
Well,
Oh.
obviously, because you didn't do this.
Do what?
That should be it.
Oh my God.
You're welcome. Roll the intro.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin and this is Bourbon on the River. It has been a minute or two since we posted our last video and we're sorry about that. It's been a crazy year, but we're back. We have a lot of exciting content hopefully dropping soon. And tonight we have a video that we filmed. We came up with a 4-point plan to recreate the Pappy Van Winkle formula. We're gonna tell you all about it. Let's get into the plan. We here at Bourbon on the River believe everything can be boiled down to a 4-point plan, especially if you ask for good friend Eric Cartman from South Park. We came up with the same type of 4-point plan that he did to solve his problem. We did it for solving the problem of how to recreate Pappy Van Winkle. Here's the plan. Step number 1, we're gonna have to do the math. We have a formula that we're gonna go through here in a minute that explains exactly how we figured out what was inside the bottle. Step number 2, we're gonna talk about how we got the ingredients and all the things that we needed to recreate it, how we went about finding them, and where we got them. Step number 3 is rooted in French origins. We call it faux chemistry. You don't pronounce the X, it's fancy. But we're gonna show you how we actually made the bourbon. And step number 4, obviously, drink and enjoy at the end. Step 1 of the plan is do the math. This is the secret formula that we came up with, okay? If we take dudes hunting Van Winkle and we subtract out the money they have to spend and you sum that all together and then you add it to our internet-based YouTube channel, you get Pappy Van Winkle. And if we start to break down the right-hand side of that formula, that basically implies that PAP always has 3 characters and PY always has 2 characters. And if you also factor in that this just so happens to be typed in red color and this just so happens to be typed in black color, that leads us to the mathematical conclusion that Pappy equals 3 red Weller and 2 black Weller. Actually, in all seriousness, you can use our formula if you want to. I think we've overcomplicated it. The formula for what we're actually making tonight is called Poor Man's Pappy, and the ratio is just basically a 3-to-2 ratio. And what that would mean is basically for every 3 Weller red, you use 2 Weller black. Or said another way, 60% Weller red to 40% Weller black. What we're actually going to use tonight is basically 3 bottles of Weller red to 2 bottles of Weller black. That's going to make a big batch of whiskey. We're going to mix it all together and come up with some Poor Man's Pappy. As for obtaining the ingredients, they're not easy to come by. You're going to need 3. We're using 3 Weller reds and 2 Weller blacks. It took us a long time to find these bottles. Lucky for us, we're in near Ohio, which seems to be Weller red country. Used to be we could find this about every week. Now I hardly ever see it, but when I see it, I do pick up a bottle because we like making Poor Man's Pappy. Weller black is a whole different animal. Usually see it in the Midwest, maybe down in Texas. Very hard to get around here. We actually got this in from a friend of ours that lives down south. He was able to find a couple bottles. I never see this around where we live. We see this a lot. Guys seem to think that this one's harder to find than this one. Post in the comments if you're able to find these. They're not easy to come by, but when you find them, get them. That's how you make Poor Man's Pappy. After you've got all the ingredients, it's time to do the faux chemistry, AKA pour it in a jug and stir and mix it up. There's actually not a lot of chemistry to it. Like I said, the ratio is 3-to-2. We're gonna do today, we're gonna pour the 3 reds and the 2 blacks together, stir up a big pot of Poor Man's Pappy. when I'm mixing them, I usually like to do a little bit of one bottle, just so it's easier to stir them together. Then I'm going to mix a little bit of black, just so kind of naturally pouring it, it kind of mixes itself. You don't need a chemist to do this. They will not spill any, because we don't want to spill any of this stuff. It's expensive. Just going to pour these together. We'll be right back once I get these poured. I've got them all poured together. This is measuring right at 1 gallon. I wish they sold this at the 7-Eleven, right? You can go in there and buy a gallon of poor man's Pappy. We're gonna mix this up real good. I usually like to mix mine for a minute or two. I'll also usually let this set overnight, or maybe even for a couple days, stirring it occasionally. I like it to kind of get blended together. I think it tastes more like it when it has some time to kind of set out and acclimate to each other. We're back. It's been 2 days since we've had this kind of blending together. We'll give it one last little stir here. We're ready to actually put it in a bottle here. I don't have any actual bottles, but we're going to use these little mason jars. We have a poker game on Friday, so some of our Bourbon on the River Social Club is going to get a bottle of stuff. We're going to pour it out here. Pour. This should make about 10 jars, hopefully, if I can quit spilling. We'll be right back after I get this poured. Okay, on to the last step. Drink the whiskey. So I've got it all poured. These were all 750 milliliters, so that it yielded about 3750 plus a little bit that I spilled. It ended up, I've got 10 jars here. Each one of them are about 300 milliliters each. I've also poured 600 into this, so I'll keep this on the bar. This is Poor Man's Pappy. You can get these labels on Etsy. This one actually says Poor Man's Pappy, 3 parts Weller 107, 2 parts Weller 12, which is the formula we use, the 3-2 formula. 3 of our little logos on the back. For Poor Man's Pappy, I always like to use the Weller bottle because it came from Weller. I kind of try to stay true to it and keep the Weller shape. They call this Poor Man's Pappy. Personally, I don't think it tastes like Pappy 15. Pappy 15 is very good whiskey. I think it actually tastes more like old Rip Van Winkle 10-year. And the reason for that, I think beyond just taste, you're mixing 12-year, so like it's 2 parts 12-year. There's no age statement on Weller Antique, but I think it's somewhere probably between 6 to 8 years. So like if you mix 2 parts 12 and let's say that these are 8 years old, 8 plus 12, that doesn't add up to 15. I don't know how you get older than 12, right? So like, but it does make sense if you do some 12s and some youngers to be closer to the 10-year age statement. This is what I personally think it tastes the most like. So we're actually gonna have a little sip and we'll call it a night. We'll see how we did. That's pretty good. Have a good night.